Peace and blessings to everybody out there. This is Zen Davis with another video. Hope everybody's doing well. One of my subscribers, I just recently put a video up of my apartment and the fact that I was homeless. And one of my subscribers wanted me to do a video about my journey, pertaining to homelessness. A lot of people have a misconception about homelessness. They always assume it's because of poverty. Homeless people are poor. Things of that nature, and that's not always the case. Sometimes it's circumstantial. In my case, it was circumstantial. So, without further ado, I will elaborate on my journey with my brief stint with homelessness. Okay, this might have to be a part 2 because I have to explain. I have to go in depth, so it might be a part 2 to this video. But it started like this. I'm not from Columbus, Ohio, but I currently live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I had a very good job at Procter & Gamble, which is a Fortune 500 company. I believe it's number 45 on the Fortune 500 list. I'm married, but I'm currently going through a divorce. My wife is a nurse. So I had an office job at a Fortune 500 company. She was a nurse, so we had the idealistic life. We had a house in the suburbs. We had a, 2-car garage. Had nice cars, nice clothes, beautiful kids. It's safe to say, I kind of had it all because I was content. I didn't need more. I don't need to be rich, but I was comfortable. Well, what happened is there's a dichotomy in each and every one of us. There's a good side and there's a bad side. Everybody has a shadow. There's a polarity that exists in each and every one of us. Nobody's 100% good. Nobody's 100% evil. We have good and evil inside of us. The dichotomy. Yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? So I have a dark side. I have an evil side. You know what I mean? And if you provoke me, I'm very calm, I'm very cool, I'm very laid back, but I have an opposite side to that. That I keep under control because I mastered self-mastery. I am adept with neurobiology, so I know which part of the brain controls self-mastery. I know which part of the brain controls willpower, and that's the prefrontal cortex right here, okay? And there's ways that you can strengthen the prefrontal cortex to overpower the limbic system, which is the emotional part of the brain. So I know how to control my emotions. I train myself, okay? But I keep stuff in, and sometimes you can catch me on a bad day. You know what I mean? Usually I plot my revenge. But sometimes I have to get you right there. If I feel like I can accomplish it right then and there without being in trouble, and you provoke me, I will get you right where you stand. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of YouTubers like to lie and be phony, like they're just so positive and they don't do anything bad. That's a lie because human nature, everybody does bad and everybody will get revenge if you push them in a corner. Okay, I say that to say this. I end up getting shot in my stomach. Okay, and that's why I have a ostomy, a colostomy, because when I got shot in my stomach during an altercation, the bullet went through my stomach and kind of like messed up my intestines. So I have a temporary colostomy. So I wasn't able to work. And so that means that my wife became the breadwinner. You know, she brought home the bacon. So I subsequently felt emasculated, you know, because I was used to contributing financially to the family. You know, now I was just emotional support, you know, because I couldn't work. I couldn't contribute financially. I had filed for disability. But my wife, you know, who's a nurse, had a pretty decent job. She had to pick up a second job. So she worked at the hospital, which was her primary source of income. And then she had another job to pick up for the financial slack that I wasn't able to provide. She had another job at like a mental health facility. So she worked there at night and on the weekends. So I felt bad, you know what I mean? I felt emasculated seeing my wife having to work all these hours while I stayed at home with the kids. So in order to mitigate the pain, the psychological pain that brought me, I started drinking. You know, I started drinking. And my drinking got out of hand, you know, because I really don't drink. But I'm not a mean drunk, you know what I'm saying? It's just that I became a different person when I would drink. I was more loud. I was more, you know, I want to listen to music. I want to dance. I want to go wake her up and talk to her, you know what I mean? So she gave me an ultimatum. You know, she put up with it for a while. You know, she left me a couple times but came back. But the last time she gave me an ultimatum, and she said that, you know, if you drink one more time, then I'm leaving. So I said, okay, cool. So tried to hide it from her. And she ended up catching me drinking again. And she kicked me out the house. So she kicked me out the house. She was done with me. You know, she said, I'm done with you. I don't want nothing else to do with you. You got to go. And, you know, so I left. So I went to move in with my mom. And me and my mom, we have a tumultuous relationship. We never was close. You know, we never was close. I'm going to have to do a video on that to, you know, elaborate on my childhood a little bit. The reason that I'm like this. And I like the way I am, but the reason why I'm so asocial, observant, you know, I have paranoid tendencies where I watch everything and everybody. It has a lot to do with my childhood and my upbringing. So I'm going to have to do a video on that. So I moved in with my mom, which was something that I did not want to do because that's like being in Vietnam. You know, my mom is from Chicago, Illinois, and she is very masculine. She has masculine energy. She don't have feminine energy. She's masculine. You know, she's tough. You know what I mean? Like, she's cold too. Like, my mom is real cold. No compassion, no empathy, none of that. There was no maternal instincts with this woman. You know what I mean? You know, I was walking on eggshells. So she was verbally abusing me. She was very passive aggressive. And I put up with that for, I don't know, a couple years I stayed with her. And I have a little sister, And my little sister enrolled in college, but my little sister liked to party, liked to hang out, so she started failing in school, you know. And my mom knows that I'm very intelligent, and I was living in her bedroom, so she came to me and was like, I'm getting somewhere. I got to go through all this explanation to get to my homelessness. So bear with me. I'm trying to abbreviate it as much as possible, give you a synopsis, but you know, some things take a while to, you know, get to the point or whatever. And it's like 2 in the morning, so I'm kind of tired, but I wanted to get this video out. So I'm kind of lethargic. So, you know, please bear with me. So my sister was failing in college, and my mom came to me and was like, could you do me a favor? I'm like, sure. She said, could you do your sister's homework because she's failing in school? We need you to do her homework for a couple semesters. So I obliged. So my sister would come over daily and drop off all these books, all these assignments, and just leave. She wouldn't even explain what the assignments was about. She would just drop them off and leave. No explanation, just could do this, bye. And I would have to read the paperwork, go through the book, and try to find out what the topic was about, and then I would have to do the work for her. And I did that. You know what I mean? It was difficult because I wasn't in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? But she got all A's, you know, like she got all A's. Matter of fact, I had to dumb it down because the papers that I was turning in, they knew it didn't come from her because her vocabulary isn't as vast as mine. So they thought that she was plagiarizing. You know what I mean? Because I was using such refined language that they gave her a failing grade one time and they put plagiarism. You know, but it was coming from my mind. So my mom was pissed, like it was a bad thing. Like, you need to make it sound like it's coming from her. You need to make it sound like she's writing it. You're making it too cerebral. You know, she's not you. So make it sound like it's coming from. So I had to try to talk like I'm her. You know what I mean? It was. And they still ain't grateful for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, ungrateful, dysfunctional people. You know, I come from a dysfunctional family. Okay, so that happened. So I put up with all this abuse, all this mistreatment, you know, all this injustice. And I have a cousin who lives in Columbus, Ohio. He's an accountant. He makes a lot of money. He's very successful. He hobnob with lawyers, doctors, judges. Those are the people he hobnob with. Those are his friends. So once I told him that I did my sister's school, and she ended up graduating because of me, you know. But once I told him, one day he called me and I started venting to him. And once I told him I did my sister schoolwork, homework, and she ended up graduating, he said, if you could do that, he thought it was so amazing. I didn't think nothing of it, but he thought it was so amazing that he said, if you could do that, you can move to Columbus and go to Ohio State. If you that smart, you can come to Columbus and go to Ohio State. He said, you can't stay with me, you know, because he's in a relationship and it would be awkward me walking around his girlfriend. You might have to be homeless for a while, but I'm going to move you here and help you get on your feet. It's going to have to be a part 2 to this video, guys, because my time is running out. But I'll pick up where I left off. And I will have to do that tomorrow. Peace and blessings. This is Zen.